Dalawang announcement tayo, reading the proclamation number 6 on behalf of the President. Whereas Republic Act number 9177 declared Eid al-Fitr or Feast of Ramadan as a regular holiday throughout the country. Whereas Eid al-Fitr is celebrated by the Muslim world for 3 days after the end of the month of fasting. And whereas the entire Filipino nation should have the full opportunity to join their Muslim brothers and sisters in peace and harmony in observance and celebration of Eid al-Fitr. And whereas in order to bring the religious and cultural significance of the Eid al-Fitr to the fore of national consciousness, it is necessary to declare Wednesday, the 6th of July 2016, as a regular holiday throughout the country. Now therefore, signed by Rodrigo R. Duterte, President of the Philippines, by virtue of the powers vested upon the President, hereby declare Wednesday, the 6th of July 2016, as a regular holiday throughout the country in observance of Eid al-Fitr, Feast of Ramadan, signed by the President Rodrigo Duterte. Thank you. Number 6.
All right. By the Executive Order number 1, re-engineering the office of the President towards greater responsiveness to the attainment of development goals. Whereas the Office of the President of the Philippines is mandated to manage the overall development process and advance national development goals stipulated in the Philippine Development Plan, the President's inaugural address, and the President's governance agenda. Whereas the administration aims to advance development goals and uplift the quality of all Filipinos through a holistic, convergent, and participatory approach to leadership and governance. Whereas the Office of the President consists of various agencies that carry out responsibilities pertinent to development and management, general government administration, and internal administration. Whereas the attainment of national development goals requires the efficient, responsive, and just allocation of resources by eliminating duplication or overlapping of common functions, maximizing resource utilization with minimum disruption to operations, coordinating efforts more closely, sharing information, and consistently working in a collaborative manner. Whereas the Executive Secretary, Cabinet Secretary, and Special Assistant to the President endeavor to proactively collaborate to promote the efficient delivery of services under the Office of the President. Whereas Section 7 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides that the President shall have control of all the executive departments, bureaus, and offices. Whereas Presidential Decree number 1416 granting continuing authority to the President of the Philippines to reorganize the national government, as amended by PD 1722, provides that the President of the Philippines shall have continuing authority to reorganize the administrative structure of the national government. Whereas Section 31, Chapter 10, Title 3, Book 3 of the Executive Order number 292, Administrative Code of 1987, dated 25th of July 1987, provides for the continuing authority of the President to reorganize the administrative structure of the Office of the President. Now therefore, I, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President of the Philippines, by the authority vested in me, by the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines, do hereby order. Section number 1, Agency Supervision. The Cabinet Secretary shall have supervision over the following agencies: Cooperative Development Authority, Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council, National Anti-Poverty Commission, National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, National Food Authority, National Youth Commission, Office of the President, Presidential Action Center, Philippine Commission on Women, Philippine Coconut Authority, Presidential Commission on the Urban Poor, Technical Education Skills Development Authority. With the supervision of the Cabinet Secretary, these agencies shall primarily evaluate existing poverty reduction programs and, if deemed necessary, formulate a more responsive set of programs complementing existing ones. channeling resources as necessary to reduce both the incidence and magnitude of poverty. They shall develop specific programs and projects that seek to reduce poverty, improve the lives of the most vulnerable sectors of society, promote social education of the people to allow them to participate in effecting existing ones, effecting real change by keeping watch of the affairs of government and listen to people's feedback. They should conduct consultations with LGUs for the proper allocation of resources and program implementation and recommend courses of action for the government to adopt to achieve a sustainable system of meeting the needs of the people while ensuring resiliency for vulnerable communities. Section 2. Consolidating the office and the functions of the Office of the Special Assistant to the President, the Office of the Appointment Secretary, and the Presidential Management Staff under the Special Assistant to the President, and creating the Office of the President Events Management Cluster. The Office of the Special Assistant to the President, OSAP, the Office of the Appointment Secretary, and the Presidential Management Staff, PMS, are thereby placed under the oversight of the Special Assistant to the President, SAP. Relatedly, the Office of the President Events Management Cluster, OPEMC, is hereby created to ensure effective collaboration among the offices and or units involved in the preparations for and management of presidential engagements. It should be composed of the PMS, Presidential Security Group, PSG, Office of the Chief Presidential Protocol, Media Accreditation and Relations Office, MARO, and Radio Television Malacanang, RTVM. The OSAP. The OSAP shall be composed of the private offices of the President, including the Appointments Office, which shall handle the scheduling of activities of the President, and the Presidential Management Staff, including presidential appointments, processing, and management of presidential engagements as lead of OPEMC. Powers and functions. The OSAP shall be headed by an appointee with the position Presidential Assistant to, with the rank of Secretary, who shall oversee and supervise the implementation of improvements in the systems and processes in place to maximize efficiency and effectivity in management. Personnel and staffing complement. The OSAP shall be composed of its organic number of personnel and shall be reinforced with the personnel of the consolidated and merged offices which are necessary to support its mandate. Section 3. Common Staff Support System. The PMS shall support the Executive Secretary in the provision of policy inputs to the President in the management of the affairs pertaining to the government of the Republic of the Philippines, and to the Cabinet Secretary in the provision of substantive and logistical support to the Cabinet and the monitoring and execution of Cabinet directives. Section 4. Separability cause. If any part or provision of this executive order is held invalid or unconstitutional, any part or provision not affected thereby shall remain in full force and effect. Section 5. Repealing clause. All laws, decrees, orders, proclamations, circulars, rules, regulations, and other enactments or parts thereof, which are inconsistent with any of the provision of this executive order, are hereby repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. Section 6. Effectivity. This order shall take effect immediately upon publication in one newspaper of general circulation, done in the city of Manila, the 30th day of June, in the year of our Lord 2007, signed by the President Salvador Medellín, E.S. Rodrigo Duterte, President. Wala rin. Sali mo na lang.
Here.
You wanna use this?
Marunong magbilang to 1 to 10. Tingnan 1 to 10.
Sir, good afternoon. On behalf of the Malacanang Press Corps, pardon us for being very particular and legalistic,
Okay.
especially on the executive order coming from the Office of the President. I would like to bring your attention on number 6, whereas. The wordings of the whereas number 6 refers to the section 7. Are you referring to the article 7, section 7 of the 1987 Constitution? The wordings of article section 7 refers to the assumption of the president-elect and vice president-elect. If you are referring to the powers of the president on the supervision of all government agencies, it should be Article 17 of the Section 7 of the 1987 Constitution. Thank you,
Article
sir.
17.
Article 7, Section 17 supposed to be.
So it should read how?
Article 7, Section 17, not Section 7, sir.
Article 7, Section 17. Okay, noted. We will act on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sir, what happened? Sir, JP Bencito, Manila Standard. Sir, what happened to the two other agencies? Sir, there were 4 agencies under the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Food Security, former handled by Kiko Pangilinan. What happened, sir, to the 2 other agencies,
Which are?
Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority and NIA? Or were they be reverted
Fertilizer
back to,
and Pesticide Authority.
and the NIA, sir, National Irrigation Authority, were they reverted back to the Department of Agriculture?
We will check on that. I'll follow up.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, just a quick follow-up to Mr. Sumintak question. Sir, what will you gonna do? I understand this has already been registered at the office of the record section. So what will you gonna do? You will pull out this, or you will provide an executive order 01-A? Because I understand, although it can be a typographical error, but this will become the law of the land.
We will take note of the pointers and we will act accordingly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes.
Secretary, earlier, incoming Agriculture Secretary Piñol
Yes.
said he wanted the PCA back to the DA because I understand PCA, NFA, and other agriculture-related agencies back to the DA, which was separated from the DA by the Aquino administration, and now you placed it under the supervision of the cabinet secretary.
Okay.
So what happened to that?
You're talking about the PCA
Yes,
and the NFA.
the pesticide and the fertilizer. Apparently, Secretary Piñol wanted those agencies because they are related to the agriculture department. But here, they were placed under the supervision of cabinet secretary.
We will take it up with the department secretary, the points that you raised.
But may I ask, what's the wisdom of putting those agencies under the supervision of Secretary Evasco?
Apparently, they have some sort of wisdom going on there. No, basically, I'm not trying to be flip. I'm just saying it has been placed together. It has been clustered such, and I'll bring it up. Yes.
Sir Joseph sa GMA. May isa pa?
Yes.
Sir, ano yung pinagkapare-pareho nitong mga to such that you saw it as wise to put them under one cabinet secretary?
Basically, it's streamlining. You know, I think it's stated it's just to streamline so that it's not repetitive, it's not redundant. Okay, so that's why they consolidated.
In an operational sense, sir, mas madali bang nasa cabinet secretary yung control nitong mga agencies na to? Kung halimbawa kailanganin mo yung NFA and then HUD-C for poverty alleviation?
It's under his supervision in order for coordination, but definitely for actions taken, it will be under those particular departments.
Sir, ano yung magiging rango ng mga nasa baba? Hindi na cabinet secretary level, no?
No.
Mga ano
Same,
na
same.
siya?
They're heads of agencies. They're heads of agencies. They're not cabinet secretaries.
TESDA, hindi na. Prior, sir, yung TESDA, CABSEC.
No, before it was Director General.
So
And then
balik,
after Pinoy came in, ginawa niyang secretary si Joel Villanueva.
Sir, yung HUD-C and then yung TESDA, that has been proven to be very useful in campaigns before. May ganun bang logic na iniiwas natin to be launching paths of political careers?
I doubt that. I think it's just, I doubt that that's the main reason to do that. It's basically streamlining. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Sir, Tavero of Daily Tribune. Sir, these are the advocacies espoused by the left and Mrs. Robredo. Will we be expecting an appointment
From?
coming from the left and new members of the left that will be a part of these agencies, sir?
That particular political sector has already been given, addressed. They've already been given their own positions.
What about these ano sir? These positions will
I
it
think
be
they're
given to
already
them
filled up.
or will there be a space for Mrs. Robredo?
We will still have to refer to Cabinet Secretary Junibasco. Thank you.
Sec clarification.
Yes.
So, yung TESDA, is he still a secretary? No. Hindi na po. For clarification.
Hindi na.
And ano siya, Director General.
Director General.
Okay, so okay, sige. So tapos isa pang question, Secretary. What's the wisdom of lumping in one EO yung something related about poverty and then something related about the operations of the president, yung sa OSAP? Bakit po sila nilump into one EO? Parang seemingly unrelated silang dalawa.
The OSAP.
Kasi yung section 2 consolidating the office and functions of the office of the special assistant of the president, parang hindi yata related sa poverty and development yung bakit kaya parang nilump sila into one EO?
They're all part of the office of the president.
So yun ang po ang reason. They are all part of the OP, so they were lumped into one EO.
Yes, and we want to do a fast job.
Still streamlining.
Streamlining pa rin.
Okay.
Sir, last, baka kasi statement lang yung makuha namin, yung visit later, meeting with the Vice President Robredo. Why did the President, decide to meet with her? And may agenda ba?
He did say that they could meet anytime, right? Okay. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Thank you very much.
Isang kulit mo ah. OP ang